Have you ever caught a stranger's glance and wondered, just for a split second, if there's something about you they can't quite look away from? As the years stack up, it's tempting to believe the mirror's harsh truths, those silver strands creeping in, the lines etched deeper around your eyes, the slower, more deliberate steps you take. You might think the world has stopped noticing you, that your prime has slipped quietly into the past. But what if I told you that for many men, age doesn't dim their shine, it polishes it into something richer, something more striking. Often the clues are flickering right in front of you, subtle as a whisper, long before you catch on yourself. Today, we're stepping into a journey together. 7 quiet, powerful signs that you're a stunning older man, even if you haven't yet seen it in your own reflection. These aren't about chiseled jawlines or tailored suits. They're about the kind of presence that simmers beneath the surface, the kind of charm that unfolds over decades, making people pause without even knowing why. If any of these ring true, it's no fluke. It's proof your appeal runs deeper than you've dared to believe. Stick with me to the end, because these signs won't just lift your spirits. They might rewrite the way you see yourself from this day forward. Haven't subscribed yet? Hit that button and tap the bell. Your support keeps us crafting stories to spark inspiration and share wisdom. Let's dive in. Sign 1. A steady, soul-deep presence. Picture this. You step into a room, not with a grand entrance or a booming voice, but with a quiet ease, like the first cool breeze after a long, humid day. Heads don't turn dramatically, they tilt. Eyes linger. Conversations soften, as if the air itself shifts to make space for you. That's the first sign you're a stunning older man. A calm, confident presence that doesn't shout but commands attention all the same. It's not about flexing power or flashing wealth. It's the way you carry yourself, grounded and sure, a man who's weathered storms and emerged with a stillness that others can't help but feel. Take Elias, a 76-year-old widower who shuffles into his local diner every Tuesday morning. He's no movie star. His flannel shirts are faded, his boots scuffed from years of wear. But when he settles into his usual booth, the bustle around him seems to hush. The waitress, half his age, lingers a little longer with the coffee pot, asking about his week. A guy at the counter glances over, nodding as if Elias holds some unspoken authority. He doesn't say much, but when he does, his words land like stones in a still pond. Simple, deliberate, rippling outward. People don't just hear him, they feel him. That's the magic of presence. It's forged in the furnace of life's highs and lows. The late nights worrying over a sick kid, the victories won through grit, the losses that taught him to stand tall anyway. This kind of energy doesn't need a spotlight. It's in the way you lean back in a chair without fidgeting, your hands resting easy on the table. It's the slow nod you give when someone's pouring their heart out, letting them know you're really there. Women notice it, how you're a rock in a sea of chaos. Younger folks pick up on it too, drawn to the steadiness you've earned over years of showing up day after day. Once, Elias helped a teenage busboy fix a wobbly table, his hands steady as he tightened the screws, his voice low and patient. The kid didn't say much, but he stuck around after his shift, asking Elias about old cars, something the man hadn't talked about in years. That's the pull of a presence like his. If you've ever walked away from a chat and heard, "Thanks for just being you," or noticed folks unwind when you're near, that's no small thing. You're not just there, you're magnetic, and the world feels it, even if you don't. Sign 2. Compliments that catch you off guard. Ever had someone toss out a casual, "That jacket looks great on you," or "You've got a sharp haircut," and you brushed it off as just good manners? Think again. The second sign you're a stunning older man is when people, especially women, start pointing out your style, your grooming, the little details you didn't think twice about. These aren't throwaway lines. They're breadcrumbs, hints that others are clocking the effort you put in to showing up as yourself, day in and day out. Style isn't about chasing trends or emptying your wallet on designer labels. It's about knowing what fits, literally and figuratively, and wearing it like it's an extension of who you are. Maybe it's the way your old leather belt sits just right with those jeans, or how you've stuck with the same cedar and spice cologne since the 90s because it feels like home. For Samuel, a 78-year-old retired mechanic, it's his knack for pairing a crisp white shirt with worn corduroys, his salt and pepper beard trimmed just so. He doesn't fuss over mirrors. But at the hardware store, a cashier once grinned and said, "You've got a vibe, you know that?" He chuckled, thinking she was joking. But then a neighbor mentioned his classic look a week later. These moments pile up, and they're not random. They're about consistency, the quiet pride in keeping your shoes polished, your nails clean, your hair tamed even when it's gone fully silver. It's respect, not just for yourself, but for the people you meet. A signal that you still care about the impression you leave. Samuel's got a story behind that white shirt. It was a gift from his late wife, and wearing it feels like carrying her with him. That kind of depth seeps into how others see you. If folks keep commenting on the little things, the scarf you threw on, the way you smell like fresh pine after a shave, don't shrug it off. They're seeing a man who's mastered the art of effort without strain, and that balance? It's rare. It's stunning. Drop a number 2 in the comments if this one's hitting home. And if you're new here, subscribe and ring that bell. Your support keeps us going. Sign 3. Women warm up without a script. Here's a scene you might not clock as significant. You're waiting for your coffee, staring out the window at the drizzle, when the barista, a woman half your age, asks if you've tried the new blend. Her smile lingering longer than the question needs. Or maybe you're at the park, and a stranger strikes up a chat about the ducks, her laugh bubbling up too easily at your offhand remark. That's sign 3. Women reacting warmly to you, unprompted, in ways that feel like more than just courtesy. It's not loud flirtation or grand gestures. It's subtle, natural, and often slips right past you because you're not looking for it. Jasper, 74, noticed this one summer at the farmer's market. He was haggling over a bag of apples. Nothing serious, just playful banter with the vendor, a woman in her late 40s. She tossed in an extra apple, winking, as she said, "For my favorite customer." Later, his son nudged him, grinning, "Dad, she's totally into you." Jasper waved it off. But then there was the librarian who chatted with him about mystery novels for 10 minutes, her eyes bright, or the neighbor who always seemed to water her flowers when he walked by. These weren't accidents. Women don't linger like that for no reason. It's your vibe doing the work, relaxed, real, a little mysterious without trying. Maybe it's the way you ask a question with genuine curiosity, or how you don't rush to fill every silence. That authenticity pulls people in. Think about it. In a world of noise and posturing, a man who's comfortable in his own skin feels like a safe harbor. If you've caught those extra smiles, those glances that don't quite break away, or a conversation stretched just a bit too long, Don't chalk it up to chance. It's a quiet echo of how you're seen. Trustworthy, warm, stunning in ways you don't even intend. Sign 4. A haven for hearts and stories. Ever had someone spill their soul to you over a beer or a park bench, and you wondered why they picked you? That's sign 4. You make people feel safe and heard. A quality so potent, it's almost invisible until it's pointed out. It's not about being a therapist or a fixer. It's the way you listen, really listen, without cutting in or steering the ship. You're the guy who lets a friend ramble about a rough day, nodding as the words tumble out, or the one who sits quietly while a kid stumbles through a big decision, offering just enough to keep them steady. Meet Theo, 82, a part-time gardener at a community plot. He's got dirt under his nails and a voice like worn gravel. But when he's around, people soften. A young volunteer, Lila, once sat beside him after a fight with her boyfriend, unloading her frustrations while he trimmed rose bushes. He didn't say much, just, "That sounds tough," and a gentle question or two. But when she stood up, she hugged him and said, "You're the best." Theo scratched his head, puzzled, but Lila's friend later told him, "She feels like she can breathe around you." That's the gift, emotional safety, a space where people don't feel judged or rushed. It's in the small stuff, how you tilt your head when someone's talking, the way your silence feels warm instead of cold. Women, especially, pick up on this. They'll tell you things they don't tell their closest friends, not because you're prying, but because you're present. Theo once found Lila sketching him from across the garden, a little tribute to the man who'd become her anchor. If folks seek you out to vent, or if they leave your company lighter than they came, that's no fluke. You're a rare kind of stunning. A man whose stillness speaks louder than words. Comment number 4 if this resonates, and stick around. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Sign 5. The go-to for life's big questions. When was the last time someone, your nephew, a co-worker, a stranger at the bar, turned to you and said, "What do you think I should do?" If that happens more than you'd expect, welcome to sign 5. People seek you out for advice or guidance. It's not about having all the answers or playing the wise old sage. It's the weight your words carry, the way your life's mileage shines through when you speak. They see you as a lighthouse, steady, weathered, pointing the way without forcing the path. Consider Nolan, 80, a retired teacher who's become the unofficial counselor of his cul-de-sac. His porch is a revolving door for neighbors, a teen asking about trade school, a young dad wrestling with work-life balance, even an old friend needing to hash out a spat with his wife. Nolan doesn't preach. He'll sip his iced tea, squinting at the sunset, and share a story, like the time he quit a job he hated at 35 and never looked back. "Took me a year to figure out what was next," he'll say, "but I learned to trust the quiet." People leave with clearer heads, not because he solved their problems, but because he gave them room to solve their own. That's the draw. You've got scars and stories, and you wear them with humility. Maybe it's the way you don't sugarcoat the hard stuff, or how you laugh at your own missteps, like Nolan joking about the time he tried to fix a leaky roof and flooded his attic. If folks keep coming to you, if they hang on your words or thank you for just getting it, that's a sign. You're not just a sounding board. You're a compass, and that quiet authority, it's stunning in its own right. Sign 6. A laugh that lights the room. You don't have to be a comedian to spot sign 6. Your sense of humor makes people glow. It's not about slick one-liners or viral TikTok bits. It's the warmth in your chuckle, The way you tease life's quirks without malice, that has folks grinning before they even know why. When they laugh, especially women, it's not just the joke. It's you, the guy who can still find joy in the mess and invite everyone else along for the ride. Take Gideon, 83, the king of recycled puns at his weekly poker night. "What's a bear with no teeth?" he'll ask, pausing for the groan. "A gummy bear." His buddies roll their eyes, but they're laughing every time. His daughter-in-law, Mara, says it's not the punchline, it's the twinkle in his eye, the way he leans in like he's letting you in on a secret. Once, at a family barbecue, he quipped about burning the burgers. "Guess I'm a grill sergeant now." And Mara doubled over, her kids giggling too. They don't laugh because it's clever. They laugh because Gideon's joy is contagious. That's the heart of it. Humor that says, you're not too proud to be silly, not too jaded to smile. Maybe you've got a go-to story, like Gideon's tale of getting lost on a camping trip and blaming the squirrels that never fails to crack a grin. If people light up around you, if your corny lines get more love than they deserve, that's a sign. You're not just funny, you're a balm. And that's a beauty age only deepens. Drop number 6 in the comments if this one's you, and subscribe if you're still with me. Sign 7. Eyes that still follow you. You're at the grocery store, reaching for a loaf of bread when you catch it. A glance from across the aisle, quick but deliberate. Or maybe it's the cashier who fumbles your change, her smile a little too wide. Sign 7 is subtle but undeniable. You still draw looks and quiet flirtation, even if you're not hunting for it. It's not Hollywood romance. It's the soft, unspoken pull of a man who's grown into himself, lines and all. Evan, 79, walks his dog along the river trail every dawn. He's got a limp from an old knee injury, a cap pulled low over thinning hair, but there's a woman, mid-50s, jogger type, who started timing her runs to match his pace. She'll toss out a "nice morning, huh?" or brush his arm when she stops to pet the pup. Evan thought it was just neighborly until his buddy pointed out her blush, the way she fidgets with her ponytail when he's around. "She's smitten, man," the friend said. Evan laughed it off, but he started noticing the extra smiles, the way she lingers. It's not about youth or flash. It's the depth in your gaze, the stories tucked into your grin, the way you move like you've got nothing to prove. Women pick up on it. The barista who holds eye contact a beat too long, the stranger who accidentally bumps into you at the library. If you've felt those sparks, brief touches, shy laughs, glances that don't fade, don't dismiss them. You've still got gravity, a pull that age has only sharpened. Section 8. The legacy you didn't plan. Imagine a crisp fall afternoon, leaves crunching underfoot, as you sit on a park bench, watching the world spin by. You're not chasing anything, not applause, not headlines, just soaking in the rust-colored trees and the distant hum of kids playing. And yet, people keep drifting your way. That's the 8th sign, one you might not have expected. You're leaving a mark without even trying, a legacy woven into the lives you touch. It's not about grand gestures, it's the quiet ripple of who you are, stretching further than you'll ever see. Look at Silas, 85, a former carpenter who spends his days tinkering in a shed behind his row house. He's not loud or flashy. His hands are rough from decades of sawdust. His voice a soft rumble, but his yards become a gathering spot. His grandson, Ty, brings friends over to hear Silas talk about building his first table, how he botched the legs 3 times before getting it right. They laugh, but they stay, asking questions about woodworking, life, whatever pops into their heads. Then there's the widow next door, Clara, who drops by with coffee just to sit and watch him sand a plank, saying his focus calms her nerves. Silas doesn't get it, he's just living. But to them, he's a cornerstone, a piece of stability in a world that feels too fast. Once, Ty brought a girl along, a shy 20-something with a sketchbook. She watched Silas work, then showed him a drawing she'd done of his hands, gnarled, steady, holding a chisel. "You've got character," she said, blushing as she handed it over. Silas keeps it tacked above his workbench now, a quiet reminder he's more than the sum of his years. That's the thing. Your legacy isn't a trophy or a speech. It's the way you teach without preaching, the stories you share over a chipped mug, the patience you offer when someone's lost. If folks, young or old, keep circling back to you, if they carry your words long after you've forgotten them, that's no accident. You're stunning not just for who you are now, but for what you leave behind, a thread of grace in a fraying world. Final thoughts. Seeing the man you've become so. Here we are, at the end of this winding road. Take a breath and think back. Which of these signs felt like a mirror? Which caught you off guard? You might have spent years brushing off your own worth, especially when the world doesn't hand out gold stars for growing older. But real stunning isn't loud. It's the slow burn of your presence, the way your laugh echoes, the glances you don't chase but still catch. Being a stunning older man isn't about clawing back youth. It's about stepping into the fullness of now, with all the grit and grace you've gathered along the way. You don't need to be someone else. The man you are, the one who's wrestled doubts, loved hard, stumbled and stood up again, he's already enough. More than enough. The people around you feel it. Your steadiness in a storm, your humor in the mundane, the wisdom you drop like it's no big deal. They're drawn to you, not because you demand it, but because you don't have to. Whether you've heard it lately or not, let me say it. You're remarkable, magnetic, and seen, maybe more than you'll ever know. Thanks for sticking with me. Drop a comment. What hit you today and how you carry it forward? Your voice matters to us. It's fuel for these stories. If this resonated, like, subscribe, share, it keeps us rolling. See you in the next one.